Hey, what's going on? Happy what? Tuesday? Happy day 22? Y'all, I can't wait for us to get back on track for my normal time, normal schedule for the Strategic Leadership Mastery. We are here, but it's the holiday and traveling. I'm back at home very quickly, getting ready to jump back on the road again in about another 30 or 40 minutes. Just got in off the road. But this is day 22 of the Strategic Leadership Mastery Series. And we are going from pen and paper to mind maps, the tools for documenting your work processes, literally. And the reason why I thought that I would do this one is because we went literally yesterday, we discussed how to identify certain areas, identifying our processes. But I had some people ask me, well, once we've identified it, what should I be doing? What are the next steps? How should I go about it? And so I want to share some steps, well, actually some key points with you today, and also provide you with some practical tips as usual. So make sure you go ahead and grab a sheet of paper, pen or pencil, because this is going to be a quick one, y'all, because I got to jump out and head down to FAMU to pick up the youngest son. Didn't get a chance to get down there yesterday because I was stuck somewhere else. So I want to make sure you have this information so that you can move forward freely in your business. This is Danette Moss, business systems and implementation strategist, aka the strategy lady over at Let's Talk Strategies, home of the SaaS factor. And SaaS is all about, y'all, simplifying, automating, systematizing, and streamlining your business for sustainable growth. I'm excited that you're joining me here for day 22 of the Strategic Leadership Mastery Series. We got 61 days that I'm hanging out with you all. And I'm going to tell you, these last couple of days have been rough, but I'm excited to still show up because I want to be the woman of my word. Whether we can do it right at 6 o'clock or not, hey, I'm just going to show up, especially during these holiday seasons when I get a chance. I may do some recording, as I mentioned, but if I can just get on and go live, I'm going to do that. Okay, to make sure you get this information. So if you have any friends or any other business owners, female CEOs that you know need this information, remind them, about us going live in this series. Have them follow me. If you're following me over on IG, hey, IG peeps, I'm the strategy lady. Over on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, you can look me up by my name, Danette Moss, or Let's Talk Strategies, my business name. And I'll be definitely going to share some information with you all to help you take your life and your business to the next level, to help that female CEO go from overwhelmed to putting that business on rinse and repeat. We do this using the 4-step framework: simplify, automate, systematize, and streamline. In a nutshell, I work with those 6 to 7 figure female CEOs to literally go up to well, we say go from overwhelming their business, but I really work with them to get out of that tense feeling of just not knowing what to do, right? And overwhelm is a not so fun place. So again, I help them put the business on rinse and repeat, go from overwhelm, but literally the end result is to help them go from strategy to implementation, because we got to implement. We really do. It's time to implement. It's time to stop talking and be about it, right? So today we are going to be discussing literally from pen and paper to mind maps, the tools for documenting your work process. Because we got to get it documented. Got to. I'm all excited about it. Now, I would love you to participate in the comments section. Share your thoughts, share your opinions, as long as you're respectful. I'm cool with that. If you have any questions, feel free to leave your questions there. I do promise to stop back by, provide you with an answer. If you are that woman who does not like to comment for everyone to see, but you'd like a more intimate setting, feel free to join us over in the Get Your SaaS On community. You can join that by going to GYSO community.letstalkstrategies.com. It's available right now over on Facebook. I'd be excited to have you. But let's go ahead on and jump on in. Again, this is Danette Moss, business systems and implementation strategist, aka the strategy lady, with a quick one, y'all. because I'm in mompreneur mode. 5 kids, 5 grands. One turns 35 tomorrow, the eldest daughter, and the other daughter turns 17. So it's just a lot going on right now. But we just gonna keep showing up and doing what we gotta do. Let's go ahead and jump on into our topic of discussion. Welcome once again to day 22 of the Strategic Leadership Series. And today we'll be discussing the importance of documenting the processes that you are currently doing, right? We need to document them so you can improve. So here are some key points to remember. One, why is documenting your process essential? Well, first and foremost, it helps you identify where the problems lie and where improvements can be made. Definitely important. Next, we need to understand, as it pertains to the job documenting piece, that whoever that person is that's actually participating in that particular task, whether it's a VA, whether it's you, junior admin, your team players, and all of that, the person who is doing this, that person is the person who's the best one to actually at least carry out the document piece for you, right? Right? We need to make sure that whoever it is doing that task, that you begin to have them write out what they're doing. The one who's usually doing it knows all the steps. And we need them to be able to write it down, in between every time they're doing whatever from step one, step two, step three, even record it if need be. That way you can take it and you can get it and list it out the right way so you can come out with a good SOP, right? Some guidance, some directions for people, right? So we need to make sure that that person definitely is a person that has the knowledge of what's going on. Don't just have them sit there and just start writing what they think, right? Make sure that whatever it is that they're writing, that it's about the context of that said step-by-step process that you're doing. And they need to do it from the start point to the end point, right? Because we need to make sure that it has the objective and the outcome of it. We got to make sure. We don't want to just be writing just for the sake of writing. This is not something that we're going to necessarily use for a chat GPT. Yes, you can use it for your SOPs, but right now, remember, this is from pen and paper to mind map so you can see and get things listed out. Then you can graduate to that other piece. And then you can look also at the tools that you need to be using for your documenting process. Now, the second one that I want to talk about as it pertains to this topic at hand is how to document your process is going to be extremely important. I kind of just touched on it in a minute. You want to start by creating a high level outline of the main task. Remember, we talked yesterday a bit about, identifying those high level things that we're doing in our business. So, of course, we need to, when we come to writing and documenting it down and mapping it out, we need to start by creating that high level outline of the main task. Don't get real deep right off the rip. Just give that shell. Always talk about writing a vision and making it plain so then the seed can run with it. Now, when you're writing it down or brain dumping, oftentimes everything is just there. It's not in any particular order. So I want you to still do the same thing, but at a high level way, right? Now, remember, you can use pen, sheet of paper, a whiteboard, Word document, anything you need to that you feel comfortable with to stage things. Okay. Now, once you have those areas or whatever your choice of or preference that you're going to use to start documenting these things, you want to actually document what you do at each step as detailed as possible, as much as detailed as possible. Don't let people tell you that, oh, just let this be a scale. Remember, you put the shell down first, and then once you put the shell down, go in there and start giving that information. Start documenting each step by step approach. And if you feel like you're going to miss some things, have somebody with you as your, let's say, I'm getting ready to write a blog article. What is the first thing I do? What do I want in the first paragraph? What do I want in the second? Are we looking at SEO steps? All these different things. Oh, it's the Let's Talk Strategies with Danette Moss TV show where I'm interviewing people or having a conversation with people. What is a step-by-step process? So if you feel like you may be forgetting some things in that while you're going through it, have someone sit there with you and have them write things. as you go. Hey, it's a team effort. It's a team effort. But you want again to make sure that you be, as soon as you begin, after you sit that draft out, that you literally start step by as you start. When you open your mouth or whatever the steps are that you're doing, that you go step one, do, step two, do, or write it down, right? Make sure you get it all. Write down each and every action and this decisions, no matter how small or no matter how insignificant you may think it is. Because remember, somebody else is going to possibly be doing this stuff. Case in point, I'm on the road. I've been on the road literally this all this week already. Well, from last week coming into now, and coming in and out the house, going out of town, jumping back in, getting ready to go back out. If I wanted somebody to do certain things, my documentation could help them flow through. Unfortunately, they can't be me. So I said I was going to be coming live for 61 days, right? So this part I have to do. But there's areas that are documented that I can give to someone else. And I had to remember myself that no matter how insignificant I may have thought it was, I needed to make sure that I wrote down each and every single step. Right. And remember, it can be simple. I always like that simple SAS, simplify, right? So you can begin to automate, systematize, and streamline it. Don't, don't overdo it. Sheet of paper, pencil, whiteboard. I got my whiteboard over there too. I use that sometimes. Sticky notes. Got my sticky notes here. And you all can't see it because I got them kind of light because I don't want you to see some of this stuff. They're there for my brand, but we have awareness, nurture, conversion, follow up. And then I have things going down of what I'm doing, of the steps that I have to take, right? Under my conversion, sales copy, websites, automation. There's so many different things. There's so many ways you can go about doing this, right? Make sure that again that you include everything you need to get the job done correctly. What do you think what else may need to go inside of that as you're including? I find that a lot of people forget the fact that when you're documenting, if someone needs to go to particular areas, you may want to consider having links in there, links to all of your resources, an area for passwords or password resets, everything that you're going to have to make sure that you can get the job done and that you can that you or they can finish it in its most efficient way, right? So the login details, useful front end information for the task, essential information that you may need to have to help somebody carry something over to the next step. It's nothing like, remember when you worked in corporate and you would go and somebody would be working on something, then you would come in, they'd leave, and now it's your shift, and now you don't have a start and end point. You got to have these things set so that everyone is on the same page, right? Identify things that are going to be the things that will help you continue to grow your business and help you dismiss all that confusion. It's going to be extremely important. Now, I also like videos. I do. I love videos. I love using Loom to outline my task because for me, I believe it helps, it provides more clarity. Sometimes that's better than written instruction. So consider that as well. Now, remember, you could have a colleague or your employee take a video while you and your team members are completing those tasks. And then and then you can have them provide back some sort of, I guess, commentary, of the process, their thought process of how it went, what you said. I would encourage you though to tell them not to interrupt you when you're doing it. Just let you go from start to finish and then give you that dialogue, right? Provide the commentary. When they do this, this will open up your eyeballs to kind of helping you see if you miss something, right? Because right now you're not trying to make it perfect. You're just trying to make it happen so you can see what's going on if they're recording it. And then once they're recorded and you all go back over it, then you can make sure things are polished up so you can pass it on to the next one and turn that thing into your SOP. Now, I do have some practical tips for you all. And I believe I kind of gave you some of those practical tips already, but I'm going to kind of run through them very quickly as that successful female CEO. who is documenting your work processes, it is truly essential for you to identify areas that you need to improve and areas that you're going to be that's going to make your work more efficient. And the only way to do that is to document. So here's some practical tips to help you while you walk through this process. One, remember again to start by creating a high level outline. It's got to be done of the main task. Stop all that little stuff that don't mean nothing. The main task. And remember, this can be done using pen, paper, whiteboard, a Word document, because you're staging things out. These here, sticky notes, use those things. And then the next practical tip is once you have outlined the main steps, work through the process from the beginning to the end, documenting what you do at each entire step as much as possible. You got to try to get this thing. Now, I'm not trying to say you got to be perfect in it, but I start out by saying step one, enter password. Step two, document that stuff. Write down every action, every decision, every discussion, no matter how small or insignificant it may seem to you. Get it written down. Now, practical tip number 3, use readily available tools, y'all. You got to. I'm over here at my IG and I'm over here at my other one. Use those tools. I love mind maps. I can get with spreadsheets too. Some people still love the Excel spreadsheet, but I like mind maps. But I do have to start with writing it down somewhere, and then I can do a mind map to have my legs going all out, right? So think about the tools that you have at your fingertips. Mind maps, spreadsheets, Word documents, Google Docs. Some people even use PowerPoint, to document their process. Use the one that's easiest for you, but by all means, use something. You got to use something. Make sure you include everything that you need to do to get that job done, such as the links, the resources that you're going to need to be able to carry out the task. It's not like hiring someone, a VA or junior admin, and you want them to do something and you didn't give them the password to get in. You're frustrated and you're the bottleneck, right? So make sure that you have those things that will allow them to be able to do what they need to do, right? So that login information, all of the stuff that they need, make sure you have it all documented. And then this also is going to show you what you're lacking as the female CEO. I mean, because we all got some shortcomings, right? We all got some stuff that we kind of stumble through and kind of mess up on. But it's good when you have it documented because you can see it and you can know and see what it is you need to correct, right? Now you give yourself the checkup from the neck up. Last but not least, on the practical tips, remember, identify, other things like your screenshots, videos. Oh my God, what is all the other different things that we use that were helpful? Use Loom. Anything that you can use to provide clarity. Sometimes that's a lot more helpful, as I mentioned, than just written instructions. So have written and video if at all possible. And utilize your team members, utilize your employees to possibly record you while you're doing this, right? And after each task, as you go back through it, have them provide you some sort of commentary on the process, their thoughts, their take on it. Okay. Oh, you know what? Also remember, the person that is usually doing the task, they're generally the ones that you want to document. Oftentimes we get in and we sit down and we're trying to document what we think. If you feel like you need to be a part of it, sit next to them, but allow them to do it because they're the best person for it, because they're the one that's doing it on a day-to-day basis, right? You got to let them do it. We have to sometimes take our hands off of stuff that we don't need our hands on, but we still need to be very much aware of it. Okay. All right, y'all. I hope this was helpful for you. As I mentioned, gotta go, gotta get back in mompreneur mode. On the road again. Ripping and running and doing what I have to do for my children and spending time, this precious time that we all have. I'm very thankful. It's before Thanksgiving. The girls' birthdays fall one day before the Thanksgiving, but I'm thankful for the opportunity to be able to spend time, not just with you all on a consistent day-to-day basis, but I get a chance to spend time with my family. This time is extremely important to me, but at the same time, I know I promised you all I was going to show up. So I got to show up, even if it's later than the time that I normally would go with it. I'm also going to be taking the time. This is year 8 in the year 8 since my father left us. He passed away 8 years ago, and we finally got some things corrected and done that would go on his at his grave site the way that we desired for it to be. And we got a ceremony that we're going to be doing as well. So this is why me getting where I need to be, away from home and out of town, in my hometown, Cleveland, Ohio, with family members, and spending time with my eldest and my youngest and my other children as well. I'm a mother of 5 and a grandmother of 5 and 2 granddogs. And this time of year is just so precious to us, where we get a chance to spend that time with each other. And yet I also get a chance to continue to sow into you all. So with that being said, it's time for me to sign out. I want you all to definitely make sure that you show up as much as possible for this entire 61-day series, because a girl got to show up to give it to you. So I'm hoping you all will show up and listen. But now, if you cannot come and join me live, remember that the videos are going to be here for you until the end of the year. Because of course I'm going to pull them down and repurpose. That's just part of it. This is a business. But I want to make sure that I give you all and provide you all the value that I know you all are supposed to have. And I believe that the Strategic Leadership Mastery Series is full of value. And my prayer is that you take this information and that you implement it, that you go from strategy to implementation so that you can see that business growth on the other side. Well, all right. Thanks again for joining me. My name is Danette Moss, Business Systems and Implementation Strategist, aka the Strategy Lady, over at LetsTalkStrategies.com. Thanks so much for joining me here on IG and also from my Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube peeps for joining me. Always excited to have you here join me. Even more excited to have you join us over in the Get Your SaaS On community over on Facebook. You can join if you're not part of that by going to GYSO community.letstalkstrategies.com. All right, you all take care, and thanks again for joining. Oh, see you tomorrow for day 23. Now, I realize that we are running up on Thanksgiving as well. For those of you all that can join, I get it. If you can, I understand. That day I may go ahead and just pre-record and have it ready for you. But still feel free to leave the comments. I love comments. All right. Take care.